Welcome to the Empower Her Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the Empower Her Wellness Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan Ekovich. And about a year ago now, I did an episode on the importance of food logging, why you need to be doing it before you make any changes to your nutrition, and why I have anybody who I start working with do one before we start making changes. So if you're like, oh, I haven't listened to that, like, why do I even need to be doing it? Go back and listen to it. It's episode 3. Go back and take a listen, because so often we like to make changes without knowing actually where we are. And you can hear the whole deep dive on that in that episode. But for today, we are going to be talking about food logging again. We're going to be talking about it from a little bit of a different angle. In the sense of, over the last month, I've talked to a handful of you who have been enjoying the podcast, and you've actually said, I listened to the episode 3 and I really enjoyed it, and I all of a sudden started food logging, and then within like 48 hours, I was burned out and I was done. So I asked, I'm like, well, why is that? And a lot of the answers were, I got too detailed. Because I asked, were you using an app? Did you just use a notebook? There's so many different ways that we can food log. And they said that they were getting too detailed. So one of the things that when you are food logging, especially in the beginning, when our whole point is gathering data, it's not refining the data, but it's gathering it. What I want you to do is be as basic as possible. For instance, breakfast, eggs, toast, honey goat cheese. Lunch, salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, ranch, and cheese. I don't know why all this is popping to my head, because I don't always eat this way. But for dinner, mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. Snack or dessert, ice cream. Snack, carrots and hummus. Very, very basic. I don't want quantities. I don't want brands. If you would like to put whether you ate out or it was a home cooked meal, that's awesome. But I don't need it when we start food logging together. Nor should you need it when you are starting to learn how to notice what your diet looks like. And that's the biggest thing, is the food log, whether it's you and I working together and me looking at your food log, or you yourself, it is really important that you understand what you are eating and what you are missing and what you are doing great at. So typically when I do these food logs, the first thing that I look for is, are they getting some sort of protein at each meal? I go through, so I don't even need your quantities. And then I look and I say, well, are they getting any fruits? Are they getting any vegetables? Well, where is that fiber coming in? Awesome. Are they having any healthy fats? And typically if you had, let's say, chicken for dinner, I'm going to assume it was cooked in either olive oil or butter or something like that. So I will make an assumption there, but just because you don't add it, but I will ask. So when you are creating these food logs for yourself, whether we are working together or not, and you are creating a food log, the goal of your first food log is awareness. It is about creating awareness for you and your diet. When you look at your food log, there are some questions that it's important to ask. Always look through it and say, what do I think I did well here? And looking through, because a lot of times we look at all of the things we did bad, or I'm going to say bad in quotations here, all the things we shouldn't be doing, all the things we didn't do. And I want you to always acknowledge the things that you did good, the things that you're proud of yourself for. For instance, if you're looking at your food log and you're saying, okay, wow, the first thing that comes to mind is, wow, I had a lot of sugar today. Before you even finish that thought, I want you to say, wow, I had a balanced breakfast. Or maybe You are at a stage where you ate breakfast. All this initial food log is to allow you to start seeing things that you're doing well, things that we are missing, and give us a starting place on what to do next. So if we work together and I hold you accountable to your nutrition, or you are just doing this on your own, that is your number one first spot to start when it comes to food logging. If you would like the accountability for this, send me an email at morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com with the word accountability in the subject line. And I will send you an email on how we can work together so that you can start reaching your goals before the holiday season hits, so we can maintain and not gain, and that we can start putting ourselves first before the craziness of the year. If you're somebody who's listening, it's like, I'm way past that. What should I be doing next? That is when you can go a little bit more detailed. And this is where clients that I've been working with for a while, we food log for a couple weeks. And I'm like, okay, let's make these changes. I see this has been missing. This has been missing. Okay, great. Let's make some of these changes. Time goes by and then we re-food log. And at that point, we need to have a little bit more detailed. So if you're past that first step, the next step is, if you are going to be doing like a pen and paper method or using your phone in your notes section, you are going to want to make sure you are adding quantities. So 2 eggs, a piece of sourdough bread, a BLT from Arby's, or Arby's doesn't do BLTs, BLT from Applebee's. I don't know. I apparently don't do BLTs when I'm out. I just make them at home. But thinking about it, identifying where it was about a cup of French fries from Applebee's. Like thinking through some of these things, putting the quantities as best as you can. Because what that allows us to do, more specifically when it comes to that pen and paper method, we've got to kind of estimate what those calories are, what those macros look like. So that right there is when we do start getting into quantities. Pen and paper or notebook is not always my favorite method, but if it is the method that works for you, we will make it work. My 2 favorite methods, and each of them have their own benefits, is there's 2 apps out there that I have personally used. I know there's hundreds out there, and I'm going to tell you why I like each of them for myself, but also in working with clients. So my number 1 app that I love for my clients to use, because of the shareability, where we do not have to pay for it on either end, and you can share your data with me and I can go in and you can either make it open or you can give me a password to get into it. And that is MyFitnessPal. And MyFitnessPal has been around forever. I remember using MyFitnessPal when I was in high school and throughout college on and off, and I still use it as a tool when I feeling like my nutrition's a little off. I need to start seeing what's actually happening rather than just kind of assuming I'm doing the things. It's a tool, just like that Power Hour tool that we talked about in one of our most recent episodes. Like, we have tools in our toolbox. It does not mean we need to be using it all the time, but there's a time and a place for it, and food logging is definitely one of those. So MyFitnessPal, pros of MyFitnessPal. It has a huge, huge database. It will find just about any food you're looking for. 2, it's easy to use. 3, which is my favorite reason for it, we can share our data back and forth. So you can add me as a friend and give me access to your diary. So when I go through your food log, I can go and just check it and say, yep, that looks good. Yep, that looks good. I can run a report on it, which is super awesome. One of the things I don't like about it, which they still have it, but you have to pay for it, is the scanning feature. One of my favorite features when the app kind of came out and before it got super popular was you can take your phone and you can scan the barcode on a piece of food, or not on a piece of food, but like on a box, and it will pull up the nutrition data. So you don't have to like type and try to find it. So that right there is a cool perk that it has, but it is not involved in the free version. I will make sure to link these apps that I'm talking about in the comments below. So that is also one of those things that if we end up doing a free food log audit, all you've got to do is send me an email with the word food log, and I will give you an audit. And when we do that, you can either send me pictures of your 1 week food log, you can send me screenshots, or if you're in MyFitnessPal, you just add me as a friend and you share your diary with me. You give me access, and then I can go in, look at it, and I can send you a food log review. That being said, MyFitnessPal, like I said, is my favorite when I work with other people. There's things that are missing though that I didn't realize were missing. And in all honesty, for most of us, MyFitnessPal is going to give us all the data needed. If you're somebody who's like, I want more detail, I want more data, I'm a data loving person, I want more, that is going to be Cronometer, Cronometer. And that one is phenomenal. I love it for a few reasons. Number one, it actually breaks down all of your nutrients and macros and everything. It breaks it down into literally every single thing that you are getting in your food. So you are getting all of your data. Number two, it's got a huge database as well. Number three, they have a barcode scanner that is absolutely free, and I love it. And number four is you can run reports. You can only run a week's worth of reports at a time with the free version, but the reports are super easy to read. And for somebody who maybe like, I want more data, but I don't really understand it, these reports are a really good way to kind of get a little bit more visual. Whereas MyFitnessPal, it's more of you get your little macro chart and you get your numbers. This is going to break down of, okay, what is my fiber and my folate and my iron and all of these other things looking like? So if you're somebody who has just gotten a bunch of blood work done and your iron's low and you know you need to be increasing it and you know you want to do that through food, you want to be able to track that. Cronometer is going to be the one that you're going to want to use. The biggest downside is I cannot see it on a coach's perspective. So the only way for us to see that, I believe, is if both of us purchase a subscription to it. And honestly, when it comes to food logging, because it's a tool that we're not using every single day for the rest of our lives, I want to find a tool that is free, that works for me. And the other thing is with both of these, with both the apps, and I'm guessing almost all the apps at this point, whether you've got a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, an Oura Ring, whatever your fitness tracker is, you can connect those. So just another thing to remember. But those are two other apps that I love. I've got perks to them. There are definite things that I'm like, I wish this one could do this. But if you are ready to take that food logging to the next level, not that superficial level like I talked about in the beginning, we've got to master that. We've got to be able to see differences. We've got to be able to make changes there. When we are working together and we come back though, and I need more data, one of these two apps is going to be our best option. MyFitnessPal is better when we are together. Cronometer, we can still use, it just takes a little bit more of a workaround and some screenshots, but they provide the data we are looking for. What the thing though, across the board for all of these, is to take your nutrition to the next level. There is some sort of weighing or measuring that has to happen for a short period of time, because we need to get familiar with portion controls. And that can look like getting really comfortable with knowing what a palm size, what a fist size, what a cupful, what that is when it comes to measuring out and about. Because I'm not going to carry measuring cups with me. I'm not going to carry a scale in my purse. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to be completely honest. There are times in your life where you may have goals, and that may be a thing for you. I do not have a goal where that is something that it has to fit into. My goal is to create sustainable, maintainable health that allows me to enjoy the things I love without having to give them up. So that being said, I'm going to find the balance in between a balanced breakfast, eating every 3 hours, making sure I've got a balanced lunch, making sure I'm getting hydrated, making sure I'm hitting my fiber goals, my protein goals, I'm getting carbohydrates in there to fuel my body and my brain. I'm hitting the things I need to. That being said, I do not need to carry around a scale. I do not need to carry around measuring cups. I can get very comfortable with using my hand. And the more aware we become, the more you just start to get an eye for it. And it's not in this obsessive way, but it's knowing that 2 eggs is only 12 grams of protein. And really, we should be having 20 to 25 grams of protein at breakfast. So what are we adding to that to make that happen? For me, I add 3 tablespoons of egg whites, and then I add a fourth or a half a cup of cottage cheese. I can't remember at the moment, but right there, then I get myself up to my grams of protein. And then I also have a little bit of goat cheese that goes in there. And then I've got my sourdough bread, which there's still protein in those, even if it's not coming from the egg or the cottage cheese. So when we are talking about food logging in today's episode, like I said, if you want to know the other reasons why we should be food logging, make sure to go back to episode 3. But today, I wanted to just remind you that if you have not food logged ever, or you tried and you were unsuccessful, you only got 24 to 48 hours in, I want you to try again. Because for you to be able to create the lifestyle you want, you need to be aware of what is going in your body. And we need to be radically aware of it in the sense of we need to visually see it. We all do the thing, and don't get me wrong, I am that person too that feels like they can memorize and remember everything. And you're right, you may be able to. But at the end of the day, or in the midst of 1,000 other things happening, sometimes it's just about getting something in your mouth because you need to fuel your body. And then you look back and you go to log it and you realize, wow, I didn't have anything today that really makes my body feel really good. I had almost some good things, but I had a lot of processed, or I had no vegetables, or I had a lot of sugar. I was going for a lot of sugar today. Why is that? Was it your time of the month? Was it an emotional day? Was there stress happening? We all eat for different reasons, and we use food as different coping mechanisms for so many things. And food logging just allows us to start creating awareness around what's happening and what's not happening. And we can literally peel back layer by layer by layer and make this as detailed as we want. But right now, start basic. And if you're past that basic level and you want that food log audit, or even whether you're at that basic level or you're past it and you want that food log audit, remember, send me an email, morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com with the subject line food log. And then once you food logged for a week, you can send me all your information and I'll do an audit for you. If you're like, okay, that audit was amazing, or I've done it in the past, or you're like, Morgan, I just need somebody to hold me accountable. I got all the tools. I have all the tools in the world, Morgan, but I cannot actually follow through with it. I need support. I need someone checking in on me. That's what I'm here for. That is what makes a coach and a trainer stand out different from any other tool out there. A tool cannot hold you accountable. You're responsible for holding yourself accountable. And sometimes we're really great at it. And sometimes when it comes to our health, it's just not going to happen. And we need to be honest with ourselves. And that's why I'm here. So if you want that extra accountability, send me an email, accountability in the subject line, to morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com. And let's talk about it. Let's see how I can hold you accountable. What level of accountability do you need? Is it something as simple as, hey, check in on me once a week? Or do you need a little daily hand-holding? We can do whatever level works best for you. I've worked with everybody from we need multiple check-ins throughout the day to check in with me once a week to, hey, I need us to do some tracking and to have a 1-month debrief. I'm like, awesome. We've got levels for everybody. So the number one thing I want you to take away from today is I want you to food log. If you have tried food logging and you've been unsuccessful, go back, start on pen and paper, get very, very basic. Eggs, toast, cheese, vegetable, broccoli, chicken, rice. Write down the very generic. I don't need sizes. I don't need where it's from. I don't need the type of chicken. Keep it super, super basic and simple. Then from there, we'll move up. And if you are someone who is more advanced and you do want to try that next level, please go check out the show notes. Check out MyFitnessPal if you haven't already, and Cronometer. If you've been a MyFitnessPal lover and you're looking for something for a little bit more data, go check out the other one. I've got the link in there, and I can always do a how-to video showing you how to use both the apps. So yes, I love food logging. I love it as a tool. It's a tool that we should have access to, that we should know how to use, and we should be able to pull it out when we need it, but also be able to put it away when we don't. So until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Thank you for tuning in to the Empower Her Wellness podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.